BMW 6 Series GT Review. This car replaces the 5 Series GT, a large 5-door hatchback that, to Western eyes, at least, was one of BMW's less happy models. This new Gran Turismo has joined a new model grouping as a 6 Series and has been redesigned, taking into account customers' views of the 5 GT's good points and what project boss Claus-Otto Griebel tactfully calls its less good points. More of which shortly. The 6 GT rides on the same wheelbase as the latest 7 Series and has grown 8 cm in length, most of this devoted to a boot that was one of the previous car's less good points. Its roofline is 2 cm lower and the rear deck lid sits 6 cm lower. That realigned tailgate is intended to tackle another less good feature, which was the appearance of the 5 GT's generously dimensioned back end. You still wouldn't call it slender, but it looks less like a wall of steel when you're following it. BMW has also ditched the complicated bootcomb tailgate arrangement and ingeniously built the electric hatchback struts into the tailgate itself, usefully widening the load bay's mouth. Despite the lowered roofline, the raised seating position of the 5 GT remains. It's 6 cm higher than in a 5 Series saloon and is a feature liked by buyers, along with the ample cabin space and driving comfort. Rear headroom is unaffected despite the sleeker roof. Besides the styling, improving the handling was another priority for the new generation of this slightly curious machine, with Griebel implying that the task of making it corner like a BMW was considered a satisfying challenge by the chassis department. Their mission was eased by an average weight reduction of 150 kilograms across the range and suspension systems that are a mix of the latest 7 and 5 Series hardware. This can include 4 air springs rather than the standard rear self-levelers, active roll control and 4-wheel steering. A lift-reducing active boot spoiler contributes to high-speed stability, while further aerodynamic refinements include active radiator grille flaps, a front air curtain and turbulence-calming air breathers for the front wheels. The result is a drag coefficient that tumbles to an impressive 0.25 from 0.29. The UK engine lineup is pretty simple, consisting of a 255 bhp 630i petrol, a 335 bhp X-Drive all-wheel drive 640i and a 261 bhp 630d, all fitted with an 8-speed paddle-shift automatic transmission. This was a big car before and is an even bigger car now, but because its interior is more finely crafted, it feels cozier and more inviting. The 6 Series GT is intended as a machine in which 4 can travel all day in considerable luxury and, on ambience and seat comfort alone, it scores highly, especially if a panoramic roof is fitted. Well over 300 bhp means more than enough go, while all-wheel drive ensures that it's confidently transmitted to the road. You'll need to rev this engine to hear the 6 cylinders that you've paid for, with their mildly roary outpourings quite a contrast to BMW's silken turbine 6s from the past. The smooth shifting 8-speeder means you're only going to find this out if you stretch the GT's dynamic muscles, though. Aboard the well-guarded test car, which came with a so-called executive drive pack that includes 4 air springs, active anti-roll, adaptive dampers and active steering, the 6 GT proves considerably more agile, and willing, than the 5 GT. It can feel big when braking and turning into a tight bend, but the suspension contains its mass well. More relevant for most potential occupants is the ride, which is excellent in comfort mode and decently supple in sport. This remains the case when the GT is cornering hard and hits a bump too, a circumstance that often upsets cars with active anti-roll systems. Also impressive is the GT's quietness at speed. BMW having gone to some lengths to achieve this through aerodynamics and sound deadening, particularly at the boot, which is apparently as library-like as the cabin itself. As you'd expect, there's a huge range of options, with bundles including rear comfort, M Sport Plus, premium and surround sound packages, as well as extensive connectivity, chassis, trim and electronic protection systems. Worth noting is that this newcomer to the 6 Series range starts at much lower prices than the 6 Coupe and Gran Coupe.